What's up, everybody? Mr. fucking YouTube here for the Balding Plebs, and today we are talking Curse of the Dead Gods. Now, this is a random buy from Mr. YouTube, but one that he is pretty happy with, and he wants to discuss it here because there's a lot to love here. Guys, this is a new roguelike that's come out of early access on Steam and is on all the consoles, PS4, it's on Xbox One, it's on Steam as well. And, you know, it's one that, you know, normally I don't jump at a game day one, but, hey, you look at kind of the release schedule right now, I haven't been able to get my hands on a PS5, and I kind of had the itch, you know, so I needed to get something to hit that roguelike itch, and I jumped for this. I went for it. And, this game is 4/5 of a great game. It really is. And the final fifth is in the upgrading. And that's the part we'll discuss here in a bit. I can't give my final thoughts on it, but I'm not sure if it has enough permanent, relevant progression to kind of take it to that Dead Cells level or that Hades level. So let's talk about this game here. Let's talk about the basics before we get into it. And I'm actually going to show you this gameplay kind of as we go and as we discuss it here. So if you're kind of wondering about this game, stick with me here and we'll decide together whether or not you think this is worth it. This is a $20 game, and I paid the full $20 for it. So, you know, my impressions are, you know, when I paid $20 for a game, especially kind of an indie game like this, I'm expecting to be good because it's getting compared to a game like Hades. It's getting compared to a game like Dead Cells, at least in my mind, and that's kind of that bar that's set in the roguelike genre for the really great ones. I think, you know, if you're just wondering, hey, you know, I saw some gameplay on this, and the art style here is, I'll show you here right away, kind of what we're talking about with the art style. It plays a lot like Hades from an art style perspective. The gameplay is much different as far as the speed of the gameplay goes, but the actual art style, it's kind of that isometric top-down stylized look. So there's a lot of comparisons being made to Hades, and I think, you know, for those of you out there like me that are on the PS4, you don't have access to Hades, so you're kind of looking for something. And this does scratch the itch. I think if you have access to Hades and you have not played that yet, you would want to start there, just because that's a fuller game, and it has a storyline with it. And also, I'd say a little bit more variety and a little bit better upgrading system. That being said, there is a lot to like here. And you've got some different mechanics going on in this game that make it unique. So, to start, there really isn't a story. Being a roguelike, that's not a huge detriment to me, because with games like this, I really only care about the moment-to-moment gameplay and the upgrading and the progression. If that's there, the storyline is side, right? If it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. For those of you that are looking for some sort of involved lore or storyline, you're probably looking elsewhere. Realistically, this just has nothing. You walk into this temple, here you go. Okay? And the game is basically laid out like this. You're going to come to this middle chamber, and this is your upgrade area. So you can upgrade, you can get blessings, you can unlock weaponry, which appear potentially in the runs themselves, right? Not necessarily as starting choices. That's a key. You can upgrade your weapon altars, right? Restored altars, your main weapons, and then get different things here where they can have a chance of starting with a very rare weapon or a rare weapon, things like that. And of course, divine favors, which allow you to re-roll the shops that you find throughout the run. So realistically, what is the permanent progression here? And you can see that the cost of these, sorry, my big balding head's in the way. You see 200 skulls there to get this main weapon upgrade, or 100 skulls here to get the Restored Altars third upgrade. You see the skulls up in the top. That is a permanent, persistent currency. So throughout the run, for defeating multiple enemies or defeating the bosses or whatever, you get skulls throughout your run. And again, that's your persistent currency that you use to unlock all this stuff. The Forsaken Weaponry is unlocked with the Jade Rings. You can see I'm currently out of those, but you use those Jade Rings to unlock these, and then these weapons can appear throughout your run, or you can buy them at the shops throughout each run. You also collect gold throughout each run, which you can use to buy things as well. So you've got some different currency things going on, both within the run itself and more persistent that you use to do the major upgrades. Here's the different blessings you can unlock, and again, these are paid for with that skull currency. And you can see that you can carry up to 3 of them, kind of to set up your build or to enhance your stats from the start. So that's really where your character progression is occurring. So once you've made your choices there, and once you've gotten a few upgrades, then you can come over here and you can choose a set of starting weapons. I have a few unlocks made, so you can see that I've got 2 different sets of starting weapons here that I can choose from. Now, unfortunately, a couple of these here didn't get any abilities, so over here, I've got a set of weapons that has some decent abilities going on it. I kind of like the whip in this game. I see a Seeker's Mace there and the bow. So I choose my weapons, and you've got a bunch of different things here. You've got your torch, which in this game, you have a light and a dark mechanic. That's a really important mechanic in this game. So you're going to use your torch a lot to light different bonfires or whatever, so to speak, throughout the temples, and to stay in the light because that's where you're safer, so to speak. You've got, and then you can switch with the face buttons here. You've got square, that brings out the mace, and you can see that. You've got your whip here, wacha, wacha, and of course, your bow. So you got some different weapons. And the combat here really relies on you kind of understanding the nuances of each of these weapons and kind of intermixing them and knowing when you want to use them, and getting a build going that kind of works with the weapons that you have, or finding a weapon in one of the shops that's going to work better for you. So when we hit the pause menu here, you can see that you have your weapons laid out that you have. These are 6 relic slots that you'll probably find as you go through the temple. You're going to find some different relics that give stat boosts or whatever. And then you have curses. And so this curse mechanic is another kind of interesting mechanic in this particular roguelike. Each floor or door that you go through in the temple, and I'll show you how they're laid out here. So let's say I want to do this Quest of Invulnerability. We click on that, and this thing does its little spinning, and here we go. I can plan out my run. Now you can see if I want to beat this, I've got quite a ways to go here. Think of this, this reminded me a lot of Slay the Spire, the way that's laid out, and you can choose how you want to start off. But each of these floors that I complete, I'm going to take 20 curse. Right, and other enemy attacks can add to that. There's things you can do to detract from it. But when I hit 100, I'm going to get a randomized curse applied to my character. Okay, so a lot of these curses have some positive and negative. It's kind of the yin and yang. But, they affect the gameplay. They give you a new wrinkle every once, that you have to kind of work around. And some are more detrimental than others. There's no doubt about it. So it is something that does keep each of the runs feeling kind of interesting and fresh, and I really like that mechanic about the game. But So you choose kind of where you want to start and how you want to go about it. And I'm actually going to show you a run here, and show you kind of the way that the weapons work and synergize together. And if you're wondering, how does this compare to a game like Dead Cells or Hades? The pacing here is a lot slower, right? Almost think of more Dark Souls-like combat. You actually have a dodge and a parry, okay? And if you can time them right, they really help you in... The parry actually weakens the enemy. The dodge, if you hit a perfect dodge, allows you to regain your stamina and really kind of stay in that combat flow. So that is a huge mechanic defensively in this game, and it's something you really need to master if you're going to be competing in the higher levels. And I also want to show you the way that they lay this out. And here's another major positive here for this game. See how each of these I've completed already? So this is like the first floor of the temple. And it's laid out in such a way that before you move to the second floor, where you'll have to complete both the first 2 floors, you have to beat just the first floor. And I like that, because this first floor here is laid out in such a way, and I'll actually click on it and show you. It's laid out in such a way where, you know, this is all you have to be able to complete. And it's laid out so that you can be a little more aggressive, you can take more chances. Are you going to get 5 curses, or are you going to get final cursed or whatever, really injured very deeply, you know, before you get to that final boss? No. You're probably going to be able to make it on maybe even your first, second, third run, and it gives you that feeling of progress. I thought this was a really great way to lay this game out. I really, really appreciated that, because had we started just with these 3 floors, feeling that, okay, I have to beat this whole thing to feel that I've done anything, I think the frustration would be pretty high right now for me, because I haven't beaten this yet, and I've been playing at it for 2 days. But it was laid out in such a way where first I could complete the first floor, then I could complete the first 2 floors. Now I'm ready to go all 3 floors, or try to go all 3 floors. I really appreciated that. That was a really great touch here by these developers, and the way that they laid it out, and they said, okay, we're gonna kind of ease the players into it, give them a taste, let them make some mistakes, but still feel that they're accomplishing things and gaining progress. So as we get ready to go into the map here, I'm going to show you how it's laid out. You've got traps to watch out for, you've got enemies to watch out for. So you got your hands full once you get in here. Believe me. But where is the game missing for me? Certainly not from a graphical perspective. I love the graphics. I love the look of it. But I think a little bit of the miss is coming from just feeling that, let me go back here. Look at how expensive these, not necessarily each of these blessings, although some of them that I actually want to get are like 200 skulls just to unlock that one blessing. But then you look at your weapon altars, just to unlock, give yourself a 25% chance of having a very rare weapon offered, 200 skulls. If I want just a 50% chance of having a rare 2-handed weapon, 200 skulls. So the cost here is significant, and there's a lot of runs once you get into this kind of mid-game where you've beat the first couple floors of each temple, and you're just kind of like grinding toward those end floors, and you're grinding that, where you're not getting any upgrades. So it feels like you start off with getting a lot of upgrades, and then you go through a real dry spell. And I don't like that. I always like to feel like I'm getting something relevant for my time, and this game misses the mark just a little bit there, which is too bad. And it's almost like I wish there was some other thing that you could upgrade, whether it be starting armor, maybe they'd add an armor feature where you could have some starting armor, or, you know, they could add a way to maybe give your character additional starting health. There is a blessing for that right here that I don't have unlocked yet, but there is a blessing for it. But it'd be cool if there was an additional way to add that in. So maybe smaller, maybe like 10 points per, 20 skulls or 30 skulls or something that you want to put into it. Just so you could feel like, okay, if you're really close, or could you add in a couple more points of damage or something on top of what I already have, because I feel like I'm maxed out on what I can do for my character right now, and I don't necessarily feel that I can make progress with my current skill level. And yes, I probably need to play more and get better, but when I play a roguelike, I really like to feel that I'm making constant progress. It's the only thing that really keeps you going in these games, right? There isn't, like I said, in this game, there's absolutely no story whatsoever. There is a bestiary. I'll see if I can show that to you. Yeah, there's like a codex with a bestiary, so you have some like journal stuff here, right? I mean, okay. But there's no cutscenes, there's nothing else going on to keep you going. There's no characters in the temple. That would be another great thing that they could have added, would be like characters you could rescue or find, or things like that could maybe give you a boon if you help them, if you keep them from dying or whatever. That would have been an awesome addition. Just things like that I think of that I've seen in other games where it's like, okay, there's just a little bit extra here to help players along. Because I'm going to show you the combat here, and maybe this first floor, because I've done it so many times, I'm going to be pretty good at, but as you get into the higher levels, you start to fight elite versions of the enemies, and they're very challenging, especially when you have multiple elite versions of those enemies coming at you at the same time. It is a challenge. And again, I feel that I can get there, but I just can't get over the top. And I've been practicing on this dungeon for a couple days. So, again, take it for what it's worth. I play a lot of roguelikes. Your skill level, this is going to be a skill-based challenge. You may not necessarily be able to overpower your way through this. And when you don't complete it, you don't get anything, right? It's just, damn, I died. I don't quite have enough skulls to make a purchase that I want, that I really feel is necessary. Back to the grind. So it just misses the mark a little bit there. It reminds me a lot of last year's Fury Unleashed, which was a great concept, awesome art, awesome addictive roguelike, which just missed the mark for me on relevant upgrading. That's the vibe I get here initially, after about 10 hours of playing. But, again, it is fun. And because of the way the combat is, being a little more, slow and methodical versus something like Dead Cells or Hades that's just like, you're all over the place in a lot of ways. In those games, the speed in those games is so intense. This game doesn't necessarily focus on speed as much as timing and understanding the enemies. So you understand those couple things here, you can make a pretty good informed decision on whether or not you're going to enjoy this. One other thing before we get into the temple. Each day there is a challenge event. Escape from your worst nightmare, fear permanent hallucinations, and infested hosts. You lose all sense of direction. So here's a nice way I like to do these. They give you a couple extra skulls each room. And if you would happen to beat it, you get an extra 10 skulls. So I like that. It's kind of a way each day to have something different and a way to boost some skulls. Very important. I'm not going to do that for this video. I want to actually show you the temple itself. So we're going to jump into this Jaguar temple here. We'll start off getting some gold, I think. And I'll show you kind of what we've got here. So you see right there, I just took 20 curse. So before I even get into the temple, I'm starting that curse counter is going on me. for the most part, I haven't found the curses. There is a couple that I've gotten that have really been like, oh man, these are a big problem, and they suck. Every time you beat one of the floor bosses, it removes a curse. So I haven't gotten to a place where I've really felt that the curses have ended my run, but they definitely keep you on your toes. You like to try to reduce your curse the best you can. Now here, we're coming into an area, we see a dark area, and boom, now we're fighting. See, I got hit there. Trying to do the parry, but there's a skull. There's a perfect dodge. So again, it's kind of learning how to, and then here's a nice room. You want to use your torch there, blow up these things, you'll go in there and collect some gold. So you see a lot of the same rooms over and over, and this is kind of what I was talking about by having like not the greatest variety in enemy, maybe only 6, 7, 8 enemy types per temple. And you're going to be doing these temples a lot, guys. Okay? So now you can see if I put my torch away, I can't really hardly tell what's up there. I see one little shade of an enemy up there, a couple of them. So you're pretty much always switching to your torch every time you're going somewhere. You're wanting to find something to do here. And you can see my stamina. Every time you roll, you use a stamina. Every time you use your whip, you use a stamina. Every time you would happen to use your spear or your two-handed weapon, you use a stamina. So managing your stamina is very important in this game. If you want to be successful at it, of course. Every time you roll, so you start rolling around and flipping around, and you get 5 stamina, and that's it. And again, you're pulling that torch out. You clear a room, you're pulling the torch out. You move on to the next one. First thing we want to do, we want to find that light source, because you take a little bit less damage in the light. You can actually see here how these enemies can actually knock that light source out. So there's a relic that they dropped for me. I grabbed it. Probably should have sacrificed it since I'm not using any poison attacks, so that was a little bit of an error on my part. But now if I look here, you can actually see that I have a relic going. So another thing that they could have done here to make this a little bit better is that they could have allowed you to, when you drop a relic or a weapon, you can't sacrifice it to the gods. So when you find it, you're able to quote-unquote sacrifice it and either get gold or health back or reduce your curse or some other thing when you first find it. If you pick it up, then you can no longer sacrifice it. And it would have been cool if you could still sacrifice it for some portion. So I made it to the end of the floor here. So now it's pick which way I want to go, and you'll see that I get 20 more curse, which just happened. So we're building that curse meter up, but we're making some progress here. Now, realistically, I didn't do as good as I would have liked on that floor. That wasn't particularly difficult. I would have liked to feel that I could beat that without taking any damage. Oh my god, Jerry. Wow. But you can see now, look at the way these enemies, they attack, man. It's on. And you can see that thing going there. That's called a greed kill. So every time you string kills together, that gives you more gold per kill. So see here, you can see on the relic, I've got a 20% base damage for daggers, which I don't have any, but I can get 62 gold if I offer that to the gods. I'm actually going to take it. Daggers are a pretty good weapon in this game. I may end up finding one. So for right now, 62 gold's not a ton. So I'm just going to grab those and see if that ends up being relevant or not. Jeez. Not going to take the buckler. So you got shields as well in this game. Shields, whips, spears, hammers, daggers, swords, maces. So you got a bunch of different weapon types, and the weapons are really good, and they each kind of have their own subtleties that you can use, which I really like. And here's a attributes temple. So at the end of the floor, fought through all the enemies. Now here's my reward for my work, right? I can get 10% damage, treasure find. My big fat ass is in the way here, so who knows what do I got for gold? 2106. So let's get. I think I'm going to take both here. So here you can see I made a gold offering, right? The gold I'm collecting throughout my run I can use, and you can actually make a blood offering as well, which instead of using gold, you actually use your own blood and add to your curse level to buy the item that you want. This makes you closer to a curse, but it allows you to get a powerful item if you don't necessarily have the gold. So it is another strategic choice that you get to make throughout each run. Again, pretty cool. Oh my god. Look at this, guys. Man. So now I got corrupted. You saw that show up on the screen. So I'm actually going to get a curse now. When I get through this room, I'm going to get a curse. Oh my god, jeez. Oh, Jdog. Wow. There's actually a secret room in there. If I had a hammer or a different powerful weapon, I'd be able to break in there. And unfortunately, I don't. So, I'm going to not get much. But a curse is what I'm going to get. So, disappointing. Let's see what curse I get. Here we go. I'm getting cursed, guys. Sulfurous barrels. Explosive barrels have an increased explosion radius. That's actually not too bad. All things considered, you kind of like that because you're going to use those against enemies. So you can see that effect there is a weaken effect. Which means the enemies take double damage when they're weakened. So each weapon has a charge attack. Boy, though, when they're coming at you guys, it's tough. Oh my god, it is tough. Yes, queen. Now we're rocking. We're using that weaken skill there to really do some damage. So there's a lot of subtleties to the combat. I'm not doing as well as I'd like here, to be honest, but you can see now we got a chance to get some weapons. So what do we got here? We've got a War Makana, hunting axes. So we got some throwing weapons as well we could get. Ooh, the steel-tipped talons. So each of these weapons, you see you have some different choices, and I actually have a few divine favors. I'm going to use one to see if I get anything better. Ooh, the Stormlash. I really like that weapon. I might get that Stormlash. I really like lightning in this game. It's an awesome effect. Let's grab this one. Now here's exactly what I'm talking about. So we got the Stormlash, right? And now of course I drop my whip. But you see that I don't have an opportunity to sacrifice that item to the gods. Even if it was 20 gold, 30 gold, it says has already been equipped. See that down there? So that to me is a disappointment, right? It's an item I had with me. Think Dead Cells, when you change out your weapon, you can still recycle that old weapon and get something for it. It'd be cool if I could get 50 gold for that, 30 gold for that. I should be able to get something, shouldn't I? All right, now let's go for the upgrade. Or do we want to? We'll go attributes first, then upgrade. So again, guys, lots of good things here. And again, the combat is different. It's not that flipping around combat because you've only got that little bit of stamina there, right? 5 stamina. Every time you use a triangle, an attack with your secondary weapon or an attack, boom, now we're cooking. Look at that. Couple skulls there. But every time I use that attack with that whip, I'm getting injured. Now here, let's see, look at that big radius. Boom! And yes, the traps damage enemies, which is awesome. Oh! Jdog. And they also blow up walls. So we're definitely going to want to go in here and see what we can get. Ooh, some big money gold. You're scrounging for everything in this game because you need everything you can get your hands on, believe me. So that actually just led around this way. So you can see all those traps. Now here's an elite. Here's a heavy. Look at this guy. But I dominated him. Here we go. We got another fountain, so I can get some health and some treasure find. And I think I want to make sure I have enough for an upgrade, so I'm just going to grab the health. And you can see my health went up 250 points there. And then I got some more health to go with it. So we want to get this upgrade. I'm going to try to upgrade my whip. That electrical whip is one of my favorite weapons that I've found so far. So as long as I'm using that, I'm feeling really good. Oh my gosh, Jdog, why didn't you dodge? You know, when you get hit, I will say this. For the most part, until maybe you get in the later stages, Jdog. And I don't know if there's attack canceling here like you'd like. See, that was a perfect dodge there. But it's all kind of about knowing what damage you can do, what damage you can do with your weapon, and making sure you can kill the enemies before they can hit you. So let's see if we can get this upgrade. So you can see here, this would give me a nice little boost, and it would cost me 1,200 gold or 50 curse. You can see that. So we gotta watch our curse here. I don't want to do that, but since this is the weapon I'm using. Oh, this actually would help remove corruption. That'd be kind of useful too. I'm going to take the Storm Lash just because I'm using it so much. I do want to try to beat one boss for you so you guys can see how that works. So that's basically what you're doing here, guys. And again, this is where that grind happens, right? You're grinding basically for those skulls. Now I'm corrupted again. I'm going to get another curse. Let's see what one I get. Hopefully nothing too bad. Gold puncture. Each door imposes a payment. If gold's not paid, it's converted into damage. All gold is paid, 10% of max health is healed. So again, there's some good and some bad here. So we're gonna be on a boss fight. I've beaten this guy a couple times without taking damage, so we'll see if I can do it. Gotta heal your stamina. When you get down like that, you gotta heal that stamina up. So important. Those are perfect dodges. They actually heal my stamina. And God knows I fought this guy enough times that I should be able to beat him pretty easily. Plus I got a great weapon. Once you have a level 3 weapon, boom, there's the kill. So that actually got him without taking any damage at all, which was really, really epic. Alright, so there, we kill the boss. Here's one of the curses that I had. It's gonna... Oh, actually, hey, I learned something tonight. You can actually pick which curse you want to get rid of. Well, hot damn. Didn't know that. You're always learning, guys. I'm going to get rid of gold puncture because that's a pain in the ass. Now I get my jade rings, I get my skulls. See that? Now we want to check our weapons. We got a keen bow here. I mean, this has so many things. You almost want to take this. Although if I offer it, I get 3 perception. Here's a feathered spear. Ooh, this one give me... So I'm going to take the spear. I actually like this spear. And I'm going to offer this one. There we go. Again, I can't stress enough how disappointing it is that when you take a weapon that you've had equipped, there's nothing that you can offer it for. I think that's a major, major misstep. You should be able to offer it for something. So what do I need here, guys? Now here we're going to the 2nd floor now, okay? So what are we going to do here? Do we want an upgrade? Do we want some health? A relic? Man, neither of these are this is not a particularly good layout. Because if I want an upgrade, I'm going to need to go get it right now. And if I choose to do that, I can't get health. As you move into these 2nd floors, you start fighting the elites. It starts to get hairy. It starts to get very difficult. So yeah, you can see, look at how poorly this one is laid out. So again, you get some of that. So, you know, this is where I talk about wanting to have just an update come through here that kind of smooths things out a little bit. Like, for instance, I see this. You have to take healing. If you want healing, you have to take it right away. There's no other chance. Look at this. There's no other chance here for healing. Like, why do we need 2 different healings there that lead to the same exact place? Why couldn't we have one here and then one 3 floors up? You know what I mean? That's kind of the stuff that I see here where it's like, this needs a little bit better, like, balancing on how these floors get laid out. Again, if I want an upgrade, I have to take it right here. There's absolutely no other option for me. So, I don't like feeling like I got screwed by the RNG gods. You know what I mean? I like feeling like if I die, it's my own damn fault. Or if I don't make it, it's my own fault. Right now, it feels like I have to choose. And realistically, I need another upgrade. I also probably need some health back. And I think what we'll do here, guys, I'll show you the healing, I'll show you how it works, and then I'll show you the challenge room, which is up above it. So let's do that. Unfortunately, I already realized I ain't going to be surviving this floor because of the way it's laid out. So here's a healing room. You heal for, you know, 20% of your health, and you take some curse when you do it. So, see that? I took 10 curse. I get another one, there's 10 more curse. So, again, the healing, I like that. It's a trade-off, right? You don't just get free health just for the fun of it. You got to take some curse to do it. I really like that. The way the floor is laid out, though, again, really, really puzzles me. But, okay. So now we're in the challenge room, which as soon as I hit that statue, we're going to have problems. So what we want to do here is we want to kind of figure out what we got. We got some light sources here. We got some traps that we can make use of. I think that's going to be okay. So let's see what we can do. Oh, boy. Yeah. Get them, traps. Get them. Yes, my traps. Ah. Yes. Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh. Oh boy, huh? So like I said, challenge room. These stupid skulls are a pain. Got it. And what do I get for all my spoils? Some gold. Alright, nice. And a relic. What do we get? 20%, 2% base damage per 1,000 gold. Ooh, and 3 constitution. Well, we definitely want that. I didn't do too bad there. Took a couple big hits that I wish I hadn't taken, but overall it wasn't too bad. So you're kind of trying to manage that curse, too. I gotta be close to taking another one here. There's a room in there, I see. See that, guys? How do we get in there? I think we come around on that one. Oh, Jdog! Oh my god, Jdog. Oh my god. Oh god in heaven. What if, oh my god, I'm trapped. What in the world? Wow. Ooh, Jdog. Wow. Just when you think you're gonna get a run going, you're gonna get feeling good. this is kind of a get good game. You know what I mean? You son of a bitch. Man. Oh boy, guys. I think we're corrupted again. So I don't know. What are we getting this time? Hopefully nothing too bad. Temple's Bite. Spike traps are now triggered automatically and sequentially. I don't think I've ever had that one before. But again, not a terrible curse. I think we can live with it. What we want to do here, we want to look for a light source. I don't see one. Now you can see all the elites coming. Oh! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh! Wow, guys. I offered that one to the gods, and you can see that I got 8 corruption taken away for that. But holy mackerel. Look at this. Here's our... Ah! Oh my goodness. There's the parry finally. Well, good thing there I got a couple skulls out of it anyway. I'd say the skull drops are reasonable. 20% base damage for bows and 3 dexterity. So I'm going to take that. Just because the dexterity gives you more. That's 2%. Dexterity gives you 2% extra damage per dexterity point. I don't think I have anything with poison, so I may as well take it. Oh, I do have poison. Oops. So I'll take it for the dagger one because I don't have a dagger. Oh, shit. I didn't realize that would lock me in. No! Oh my god. Oh, here's a great item. Oh, guys. I think this run's coming to an end based on how we're going. I'll go to the... I got pretty good attributes. I'll go to the unknown. Maybe we'll get an upgrade slot. Because that's what I really need. Or a healing. And I don't think we're getting either. get that cadence down, you're feeling good, you know? Alright. Dominated there. Probably the best room I've had, which is awesome. So here's another thing here that we don't really need. So we'll get 8% max health restore by offering it. I really like that. You know, again, giving you ways to kind of keep your character going and making the decisions that's best for you. So again, this game does so many good things, guys. So many good things. But, oh, did I miss the upgrade thing? I think I missed the upgrade here. So we don't want to miss that. Yeah, whoops. That would have been a mistake. Ooh, it's a... Oh god, it is an upgrade. It's exactly what we need. This gives me to level 4. I think we just keep taking it, guys. We just keep upgrading this Storm Lash. That's the weapon I seem to be doing well with. I have a build going with the 50% extra lightning damage. So I think that's the one we want to take. I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat this boss if I get there. I'm corrupted again. So we got problems going here. Not too bad. Shadow Flame. Ugh, that's a terrible one. Now burn with Dark Flame and cannot be lit. That's a bad one, because I like to keep my braziers lit because you take less damage. Look at this mess. Okay, we gotta really focus here, guys. See, now I'm not gonna be able to get this lit. Wow. Look at this. This weapon is absolutely down. Oh, here's a Stinger Lash. Wow. Oh, that's disheartening. Should have waited on that. But... So you can see here now, this curse means I can't light my light source here. Ah! These fucking traps drive me bonkers. Wow, I can't believe I made that. Oh no, oh guys, oh my god. Oh my goodness. All these traps are working against me here pretty bad. And you can see I just have very little happening right now. The traps are going to be the death of me. Oh, man. And I have a nice upgraded weapon here too, which is what's so disappointing about this. Oh wow. Oh, here's another 15% damage to lightning attacks. So we're gonna want that, I think. So our weapon right now is very well upgraded. You can see that you can kind of work your build however you need to. Damn. I think I'm going to the boss. This is going to be probably the last room I'm going to be at, so I may as well take this extra damage. We'll see what happens. I think this will probably be the end of the run, guys, but hey, I've learned something on this run. I learned that you can choose which curse to take off. I really am happy I had a chance to learn that and share that with all of you. This will be the second boss in the Jaguar Temple. It's a dual boss, and it's difficult. So you want to hit him with that? 4 times, and then you want to recharge your stamina. Okay, well, I got 35 crystal skulls out of it, and 5 jade rings. So I did make some progress, but again, due to where I'm at in the game, am I gonna unlock anything? I mean, what do you think I should do? I don't think so. I've got 2 choices for weapons. The next blessing that I desperately really want to have probably is this one or this one. So they're expensive items that I want to get. I could unlock another set of weapons here. I can get one more altar if I want it, but what really I want to save up to boost the weapons that I have. Since it's not really the fact that I don't have weapon choice, it's that the weapons that I feel like I get aren't terribly strong. And I didn't have that good of a run last time. I'm going to be honest with you. It was a poor run. And Divine Favors, I hardly use them as it is. So this is where I'm stuck, guys. This is where the sticking point is for me on this game. And why I don't like immediately come on here shouting its praises. It has a mid-game grind to it that is significant. Very significant. Everything else, though, is good. And the combat is good. You know, if you play, hopefully you're going to do a little better than I did in my run as far as dodging and blocking and all that good stuff. But, yeah. This mid-game grind has got me a little bit, unfortunately, because everything else is awesome, and the atmosphere of it is really awesome. It feels like you're delving into a temple, you know, and that you're a lost explorer, and you've kind of come upon this, you know, wicked, forsaken place. So I love the vibe of the game. I really do. And the whole curse mechanic, it works with what they've created from just a vibe standpoint and a, you know, sort of a theme standpoint. It really works. But this upgrading could be a little bit better. And I'd love, just for a little balancing on the map layout, you could see what we ran into there on that second floor was just a crazy, terrible layout. We got lucky on the upgrade in the question mark room, but what a terrible layout. So there's just a couple little things I hope they'll change. You know, if you like what you see here, guys, this is available on PS4. It's available on Steam. It's available on Xbox One. I am enjoying my time with it. This is in that 7.5 to an 8 range for me right now on my initial impressions. If they touch up this upgrading system a little bit, this jumps into that 9.5 range, because the rest of the game is very compelling and it's addictive as hell, and you're thinking about it. With roguelikes, hey, what is it? One more run, right? We think about that all the time. What's the best ones that get you saying one more run, one more run, one more run? And that's what I feel here a lot. Like, I'm gonna finish this video, I'm gonna get back in for one more run. But the grind is real, right? I got 132 skulls. I need 68 more of those now to get really probably my next upgrade that I want. So the grind's real. So yeah, I hope they'll make a few changes to this. I hope they'll keep touching it up. I really do. But I do like what I've played so far. I do recommend it for you hardcore roguelike guys out there. I mean, especially if you're like me and you've done the Hades, you've done the Dead Cells, and you're kind of like, man, I wish there was another roguelike to sink my teeth into. This is one that I think you can sink your teeth into because you gotta get good at the combat. Okay? It's probably not one where the weapons themselves power you to the finish line. You've got to learn your enemies and you got to get good at the combat. You can see that was my struggle in that last run that we saw earlier. So a lot of good things here. A lot of good things here, and very unique, and I like that. So this is Curse of the Dead Gods. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you're checking it out, leave your comments in there. If you got any questions on it, I'll do my best to help you out. I hope I answered some questions. I kind of tried a new video format here today, just kind of doing like a live play with you guys where I could actually kind of talk about the game as I showed it off. And I kind of like that format, so let me know if you enjoyed that as well. And thanks for sticking it out with me. Curse of the Dead Gods, available on Steam, on PS4, on Xbox One. If you're a hardcore roguelike guy and you like challenging combat, I really think you'll like it. As always, this has been Mr. YouTube, Mr. fucking YouTube, baby, for the Balding Plebs. You're welcome.